My name is Leo Barnes. 1 second, I was crushing into a crowded L train in Chicago, and the next, I woke up as Grayson Cole, the multi-billionaire CEO. Right now, my manipulative ex-girlfriend, Chloe, is clutching her chest, pretending to faint. Grayson, darling, she whimpers, my chest feels so tight. Could you take that $3 million necklace you gave Isabella and let me wear it? I think it would help me breathe. According to the original script of this life, I'm supposed to rip the necklace off my wife's neck, give it to Chloe, and then slap my wife for good measure. I glanced at the diamond-encrusted chain in my hand, then at my wife, Isabella, standing beside me with a defiant look in her eyes, bracing for the inevitable slap. I took a deep breath and, in a swift motion, slapped Chloe right across the face. Chest tightness, you say? That's a classic sign of a heart attack. Security. I yelled. Get this woman out of here. Perform CPR. If she doesn't wake up, send her straight to the morgue. Best to do it while she's still warm. The entire ballroom went silent. Isabella's eyes widened. Grayson, have you lost your mind? I let out a cold laugh and fastened the necklace around my own neck. I haven't lost my mind. I'm just done being the world's biggest sucker. Have you signed the divorce papers? If not, hurry it up. Don't make me late for my appointment at the club. I've got male models to interview. Female models. The slap echoed through the grand ballroom, crisp and loud. Chloe Reed's delicate face swelled up at a visible rate. She crumpled like a stringless kite, landing on the plush carpet 10 feet away. She was stunned. Every guest in the room was stunned. Isabella Vance, whose cheek had been prepared to receive the blow, was frozen in place, her expression a mask of pure shock. I felt the heavy weight of the diamond necklace on my skin and felt a surge of pure joy. $3 million. That could buy a lifetime supply of frozen pizzas and ramen noodles. Enough to let a corporate drone like me retire and live comfortably for the rest of my life. Get to this drama queen? Does she deserve it? Not in a million years. Grayson, you hit me, Chloe sobbed, cradling her face as tears streamed down her cheeks. She stared at me in disbelief. I pretended to clean out my ear, my face a mask of annoyance. What's wrong with hitting you? I was trying to save your life. I pointed a finger at her, my voice ringing with self-righteousness. You said your chest was tight, your face was pale. Those are textbook symptoms of an acute myocardial infarction. The golden window for resuscitation is only 4 minutes. That slap was to clear your blood vessels and stimulate your vital signs. You should be thanking me. My twisted logic left Chloe utterly speechless. Her mouth hung open, unable to form a single word. Isabella finally found her voice. She stormed up to me, her beautiful face contorted with rage. Grayson Cole, you've gone too far. Chloe has a delicate constitution. How could you lay a hand on her? I roll my eyes. If her constitution is so delicate, what's she doing coveting a $3 million necklace? Sound to me like she's just crazy for the cash. I gestured to 2 burly security guards by the door, raising my voice an octave. What are you 2 standing there for? Who signed your paychecks, me or her? This woman is a con artist. She tried to scam me out of $3 million. Call the police and have her arrested. The guards exchanged a look, instinctively glancing at Isabella. After all, until tonight, the former Mrs. Cole was the one who usually gave the orders. What are you looking at her for? I roared. She's a nobody now. If you don't move it, you can kiss this month's bonus goodbye. The word bonus was like a shot of adrenaline. The guards immediately rushed toward Chloe. No, Grayson, darling. I didn't. Chloe's screams were ear-splitting. So noisy, I scowled. Gag her. Use her Hermes scarf. Don't let it go to waste. The guards acted swiftly. Chloe's wails turned into muffled whimpers as she was unceremoniously dragged out of the ballroom. Peace and quiet at last. I turned to face Isabella's eyes, which were burning with shock and fury. She seemed to expect an explanation. I just grinned, showing off a set of pearly whites. What are you looking at? Did you bring the divorce papers? Sign them already. I'm about to get to my next party. I've got 8 models waiting for me to get a pedicure. Isabella swayed on her feet, her face even paler than Chloe's had been. She stared at me as if I were a complete stranger. A demon crawled up from the depths of hell. This script, something feels off. Grayson, do you really think this little stunt will get my attention? The next day, in the penthouse office of Cole Industries Tower, Isabella Vance stood before me, arms crossed, a smug, I see right through you sneer on her face. I was busy studying a world map made of solid gold on my desk, and didn't even look up. That's some main character syndrome you've got there. It's a real turnoff. Isabella's expression froze. What did you just say? I said. I looked up, slapping the divorce agreement down on the desk in front of her with a loud thwack. Sign it, get out, and stop wasting my time. This isn't like you. You love Chloe. You would have done anything for her. She shrieked, her voice sharp with agitation. I used to be an idiot. I'm better now. I tapped my temple. See this? The brain is back online. Before Isabella could say another word, the office door was kicked open with a loud bang. A young man with bleach blonde hair and skinny jeans swaggered in. Grayson Cole, you son of a bitch, you think you can push my sister around? And you hit Chloe? It was Isabella's parasite of a brother, Julian Vance. In the original Grayson's memories, this kid was nothing but trouble, always showing up with his hand out. Sure enough, his next sentence was, I'm telling you, this isn't over until you cough up $500,000 for emotional distress. Isabella stood by, without a word, clearly condoning his behavior. In the original story, the simpering Grayson would have immediately written a check to smooth things over. Unfortunately for them, they were now dealing with Leo Barnes. I slowly picked up the heavy crystal ashtray from my desk, weighing it in my hand. $500,000. I looked at him, my smile unnervingly pleasant. You think this ashtray, smashed over your head, is worth $500,000? Julian froze, clearly not expecting this reaction. You wouldn't dare. I ignored him. The next second, I suddenly clutched my head and let out a dramatic groan. Ow, my head, it hurts. The pain. I slid out of my ergonomic chair and onto the floor, where I began to roll around with the over-the-top flair of a seasoned actor. It must have been you. You kicked the door too loudly, it startled me. I think I have a concussion. Julian and Isabella just stared, dumbfounded. I continued to crawl ominously across the expensive Persian rug, wailing, I'm gonna sue. No, I demand compensation. You've damaged the priceless brain of a multi-billionaire CEO. I've suffered immense psychological trauma. Julian scrambled backward. Stay away from me. I shot up from the floor like a predator, grabbing him by the collar of his designer jacket. Pay up. Medical bills. Pain and suffering. Lost wages. Let's keep it simple. $100 million. $100 million. Julian burst into tears on the spot. He looked desperately at Isabella. Cease. He's lost his mind. Grayson's gone insane. Isabella was panicking now, trying to pull me off him. I shoved her hand away, grabbed Julian by the ankle, and treating him like a human bowling ball, rolled him forcefully toward the office door. Thump! With a pathetic yelp, Julian tumbled out of the office, knocking over a large potted plant in a disheveled heap. I dusted off my hands and addressed my stunned secretary, who was gaping at the doorway. Please take out the trash, and inform security downstairs that from now on, the Vance family dog and Julian Vance are not permitted on the premises. I turned back to the pale-faced Isabella. Now, I said coolly, shall we discuss the division of our assets? She looked at me with an expression that had shifted from shock to a sliver of genuine fear. I, Leo Barnes, a former wage slave who once practically ran himself to death just to avoid being a few minutes late to work, was now sitting in the CEO's chair of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Honestly, my knees were a little weak. The opulent lobby, the spotless marble floors, the rows of employees in sharp business attire, all bowing their heads, afraid to meet my eyes. So this was the decadent stench of capitalism? Man, it smelled good. My beautiful secretary, Maya, followed timidly behind me, holding a tablet. Yeah, she smelled good too, but I'm a traditional man. Mr. Cole, your dinner meeting with Mr. Henderson from Starbright Entertainment is scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight. Shall I confirm? The original Grayson Cole was a workaholic, but only when it came to torturing his employees. His life revolved around 3 things: simping for Chloe Reed, tormenting Isabella Vance, and forcing his staff to work pointless overtime. Dinner meeting? I stopped walking and turned around. Maya flinched, nearly dropping the tablet. Cancel it, and send out a memo, effective immediately. All departments will end workday on time. Anyone who stays in this office 1 minute past 5 will have their pay docked for the month. Maya looked as if she'd misheard me, frozen to the spot. I frowned. What? Did you not understand me? No. That's not it, Mr. Cole. Maya was so scared she dropped to her knees, tears welling in her eyes. Mr. Cole, we're sorry. We're willing to work overtime. We will dedicate ourselves to this company until we collapse. Please don't fire us. The surrounding employees shot me looks of sheer terror. I was baffled. What kind of twisted, slave-driving enterprise was this? Telling them to go home was like handing them a death sentence? I'm telling you all to get the hell home. Do you not understand English? I bellowed. Now, get out. All of you. Immediately. A dead silence fell over the lobby, which was quickly followed by a tidal wave of cheers. Long live Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole is a genius. The eruption of joy nearly blew the roof off the building. I nodded in satisfaction. Now, that was a normal human reaction. Back in my office, I had Maya bring me the financial reports. I had no idea. One look, and I was horrified. That spendthrift original Grayson, in his efforts to please Isabella and her family of leeches, had handed over no less than $500 million in projects and partnerships to Vance Enterprises. Every single one was a money-losing deal. Slam! I smacked my hand on the desk. Maya, get the legal and project management teams on the line right now. All partnerships with Vance Enterprises are to be terminated. Immediately. All of them. What? Maya's jaw dropped. But Mr. Cole, these were all projects you personally. I was an idiot before. I cut her off. I'm not anymore. Take every penny we save from canceling these projects and give it to every employee in this company as a bonus. Maya was completely stunned. Her pen slipped from her fingers and clattered onto the floor. Oh, a bonus? You under what pretext? I thought for a moment, then a wide grin spread across my face. The pretext is a celebration of my return to single life. Call it the happy divorce bonus. Half an hour later, my phone rang. It was Isabella, her voice frantic and furious. Grayson Cole, what is the meaning of this? Why did you suddenly terminate all of our family's projects? I was in the company cafeteria at the time, holding a stainless steel tray piled high with barbecue ribs, fried chicken, and a can of Coke. Damn, the cafeteria of a multi-billion-dollar company was on another level. So much better than the slop I used to eat. I answered the phone while gnawing on a chicken leg, my words muffled. No meaning, just tired of being a sucker. You're trying to force my hand. Yeah, forcing you to sign the divorce papers. Grayson, you bastard. She screamed and hung up. I figured she'd come storming over. Sure enough, about 15 minutes later, Isabella Vance, dressed in a Chanel suit and clicking across the floor in stilettos, burst furiously into the employee cafeteria. The several hundred employees eating their lunch instantly fell silent, all eyes on her. I slowly finished the last of my ribs and wiped my mouth with a napkin. Then, I stood up, pointed at the thunderous expression on Isabella's face, and announced loudly to the entire cafeteria. Attention, everyone. I'd like to make an introduction. Do you see this woman? She is the one who almost prevented all of us from receiving our happy divorce bonus. The moment I finished speaking, the cafeteria erupted in thunderous applause and cheers. Isabella's face instantly went from deathly pale to a deep shade of purple. For that evening, I decided to properly experience the nightlife of the rich. I booked the largest VIP booth at Obsidian, the most expensive lounge in the city. The waiter approached me deferentially. Mr. Cole, how many bottles of Ace of Spades can I get for you? I waved a dismissive hand. Tacky, bring me 20 fruit platters, 100 buffalo wings, 100 sliders, and a case of ice-cold Coke. The waiter's face looked like he'd been constipated for 10 days. As a veteran corporate drone, this was the absolute peak of luxury I could imagine. Just as I was savoring this simple pleasure, a hot wing in one hand and a Coke in the other, a few unwelcome guests appeared. Isabella, Julian, and Chloe, who still had a bandage on her face. They just wouldn't quit. Bro-in-law, so this is where you've been, living it up. Julian pointed at me, his voice dripping with the righteous indignation of someone catching a cheating spouse. You beat up Chloe, and you still have the nerve to be out drinking? Guests in the nearby booths started casting curious glances our way. Hey, isn't that Grayson Cole? I heard he's trying to kick his wife to the curb for some side piece. What a heartless scumbag. I listened to the murmurs, but instead of getting angry, I smiled. I picked up the table's microphone and shouted to the DJ booth. DJ, change the track. Put on Enter Sandman by Metallica. And crank it. The next second, the deafening opening riff blasted through the lounge, stunning everyone with a sudden onslaught of heavy metal. Chloe, clutching her bandaged face, picked up a glass of red wine and staggered toward me, crying, Grayson, darling, how could you do this to me? It was obvious she was about to douse me with the wine. I sidestepped with nimble grace. Splash! The glass of red wine sailed past me and hit the person standing right behind her, Julian. The red liquid dripped down his bleached blonde hair, a truly pathetic sight. I grabbed the mic again, providing a play-by-play, and there it is, a brilliant collateral damage maneuver. The Vance siblings are turning on each other. The drama, the excitement. The whole lounge burst out laughing. Isabella was trembling with rage, her eyes red. Grayson, do you have to humiliate me like this to be satisfied? Humiliate you? I was just getting started. I pulled out a thick stack of cash I'd gotten from accounting, about $10,000. I held it high in the air and shouted to the entire room. Attention, everyone, look over here. I've got $10,000 in cash. Whoever can, escort these 3 mentally exhausting individuals who are interrupting my dinner out of my sight gets to keep it. The words had barely left my mouth when the lounge erupted. I'll do it. Pick me, Mr. Cole. I'm strong. Damn it, don't get in my way. The bouncers closest to me, along with a few burly guys from the neighboring booths, saw the cash and their eyes turned red. Like a pack of hungry wolves, they charged toward Isabella, Julian, and Chloe. The scene descended into chaos. Julian's screams, Chloe's shrieks, and Isabella's cries of alarm blended with the thunderous sounds of Metallica, creating a strangely festive atmosphere. I crossed my legs, leaned back, and casually picked up another slider. Yep, the joy of being rich was just that simple and crude. It was my grandfather's 80th birthday, and as the sole heir to the Cole fortune, my attendance was mandatory. I knew Isabella would be there. This was a major turning point in the original story. The original Grayson would be so captivated by Isabella's beauty and poise at the party that he would revert to being her devoted simp, and she would use the opportunity to solidify her status. That evening, I arrived at the magnificent Cole family estate in Lake Forest, dressed in a bespoke suit, my hair perfectly styled. I had to admit, Grayson Cole was a handsome devil. Sharp eyebrows, deep-set eyes, a strong nose. He was basically a walking pheromone. My entrance captured everyone's attention. Isabella, as expected, was dressed to the nines in a stunning white evening gown and flawless makeup, looking like a proud swan. Her eyes lit up with a flicker of admiration when she saw me, and she strode toward me with an air of confidence. She assumed that in such a public setting, for the sake of the Cole family's reputation, I would have to compromise and beg her to be my date. She stopped in front of me and elegantly extended her hand. Grayson, for your grandfather's sake, I'll condescend to be your date for tonight. Her tone was so arrogant, as if she were bestowing upon me a great honor. I completely ignored her. I turned to the butler behind me and snapped my fingers. The butler immediately returned, leading a well-dressed companion. It was a Siberian Husky, a Husky wearing a tiny tuxedo and a bow tie, its eyes radiating a cool indifference mixed with a hint of mockery. I smiled, took the leash, and introduced my date to the assembled guests. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce my new partner, Buddy. The room erupted in a wave of murmurs. Everyone stared at me as if I'd lost my mind. Isabella's face, in a fascinating display, turned from white to red, then to a deep shade of purple. I didn't look at her. Instead, I crouched down and lovingly stroked the Husky's head. Buddy, my boy, you're the only one who would never betray me, never plot against me, and certainly never demand a $3 million necklace. The jab was obvious. Isabella swayed, nearly losing her balance. Her brother Julian couldn't take it anymore. He jumped forward, pointing and yelling. Grayson, you psycho. You brought a dog to Grandpa's birthday party? You've completely disgraced our family. Before I could respond, the leash accidentally slipped from my hand. Buddy, someone's yelling at me. Go get him. With a loud woof, the Husky shot off like an arrow, straight for Julian. The man and dog duo proceeded to create chaos throughout the ballroom. Julian scrambled around the room, eventually climbing onto a dinner table, his pants ripped by the dog's teeth. I expected my grandfather to disown me on the spot, but to my surprise, the old man, seated at the head table, didn't get angry at all. Instead, he slapped the table and roared with laughter. Excellent. That's it. A grandson of mine should have that kind of spirit. I couldn't stand that spineless version of you before. My grandfather looked at me with eyes full of approval. I was taken aback. This old guy had some strange tastes. Isabella watched me interacting affectionately with my dog, then looked at her laughing grandfather, and a complex expression crossed her face. She suddenly seemed to find this new man fascinating. He was crazy, unpredictable, and possessed a kind of wild charm. How had she never noticed this side of him before? A seed of what could only be described as falling for her own deluded fantasy began to sprout in her heart. I had no time for her internal monologue. I led Buddy over to my grandfather's table and, in front of all the guests, dropped a bombshell. Grandfather, I have an announcement to make. From this day forward, I, Grayson Cole, am severing all business ties with the Vance family. After all, my dog Buddy says their family has bad feng shui. It's bad for my health. On cue, Buddy let out a supportive woof. Isabella's face turned ashen. She knew Grayson Cole wasn't joking. The man she used to be able to summon and dismiss with a wave of her hand was truly, completely out of her control. After I cut ties with them, Vance Enterprises quickly spiraled into a crisis. That useless idiot Julian Vance was no help at all. In fact, he'd racked up massive gambling debts all over town. One afternoon, as I was playing Beat Saber on my VR headset, I got a call from an unknown number. A man with a gruff voice was on the other end. "Is this Grayson Cole? How about your brother-in-law, Julian Vance? If you know what's good for you, get $50 million in cash ready. Don't call the cops, or you'll be picking up his corpse." Kidnapping. I took off my VR headset and calmly opened a bag of chips. Crunch. Okay, got it. There was silence on the other end of the line. The kidnapper had probably never encountered a family member this calm. "Hey, did you hear me? I have a brother-in-law." "I heard you," I said, my voice muffled by a mouthful of chips. "Go ahead and kill him. Just make it quick." "Kidnapper." I could hear Julian's desperate sobs in the background. Grayson, save me. I'm your brother. You can't just let me die." I cleaned out my ear. "Look, Mr. Kidnapper, let's be real here. First of all, he's not my brother. At best, he's my former brother-in-law. Second, the quality of this hostage is terrible. He's dumb, he's lazy, and all he does is consume resources. I think 50 million is way too high." I began to offer the kidnapper some earnest advice. "I suggest you don't sell him as a whole unit. You'll lose money. Sell him by the pound. See if you can recoup some of your costs." The kidnapper was completely bewildered. Are you even his brother-in-law?" I was. "Not anymore," I said. "When you do it, make sure you record it in high definition and send me the video. I'd love to see it." Not long after, Isabella burst into my office, crying, "Grayson Cole, are you even human? Julian's been kidnapped. How can you just sit there and do nothing?" I sighed, and right in front of her, I called the kidnapper back and put it on speaker. "Hello, Mr. Kidnapper? It's Grayson Cole. My ex-wife is here, crying her eyes out, saying I'm being too cold-hearted. So, let me give you a few professional tips." The kidnapper on the other end sounded re-energized. "Mr. Cole, please go on." "First, starve him for 3 days. Just water. It'll break his spirit. Then, give him a good beating, but avoid the face, stick to the body. Take pictures and send them to my ex-wife to increase her psychological distress. If she still won't pay, don't kill him. That's a waste. Just break one of his legs and sell him to an illegal mining operation. Recycle the trash." I was laying out the plan with gusto, and the kidnapper was listening with rapt attention, agreeing enthusiastically. "Thank you for the advice, Mr. Cole. We'll get right on it." He hung up. Isabella stared at me in horror, as if I were a demon. You're a monster." I shrugged, feigning innocence. "I'm a law-abiding capitalist. I was simply conducting a reasonable risk assessment and proposing a solution that maximizes profit. I don't support freeloaders, and I certainly don't buy back defective goods." That day was the darkest of Julian Vance's life. The kidnappers followed my guidelines to the letter, torturing him to within an inch of his life. 3 days later, I didn't get a ransom call. I got an apology call. "Mr. Cole, we're so sorry. We were wrong." The kidnapper's voice was choked with tears. "Your brother-in-law. He eats too damn much. He's eaten us out of house and home. We quit. We don't want the money. We'll even pay for his Uber back to you. Please, for the love of God, just take him back." In the end, Julian was unceremoniously dumped at the main entrance of Cole Industries Tower by his disgusted captors. He was bruised and battered, his clothes in tatters. The moment he saw me, he was so terrified he wet his pants. The Vance family's financial situation deteriorated by the day. Apparently having hit rock bottom, Isabella finally decided to swallow her ridiculous pride and take matters into her own hands. She began to imitate the very tactics of Chloe Reed, the woman she despised. Late one night, just after I'd gotten out of the shower, my doorbell rang. I checked the security camera. It was Isabella. She was wearing a black, see-through negligee, her long hair damp and draped over her shoulders, her face done up in a pitifully alluring way. I opened the door and looked her up and down. She bit her lip and struck a pose she clearly thought was seductive. I frowned, my expression wary. "It's the middle of the night. What do you want? Are you here to steal my 82 Lafayette?" Isabella's expression faltered for a second before softening again. She took a step closer, trying to press herself against me, her voice a syrupy whisper. "Grayson, I thought things through. The truth is, I have feelings for you. I think. I'm in love with you." "Oh, wow. So we're moving into the ex-wife begs for forgiveness story arc?" I stared at her blankly, then reached into a nearby drawer, pulled out a digital thermometer, and held it out to her. "Open your mouth. Let me take your temperature." "Isabella, question mark, 98. 6 degrees. No fever, I said, studying the display with a grave expression. Then must be brain damage. Isabella's face cycled through shades of white and green. Seething with humiliation, she decided to go all in, throwing her arms open to embrace me in a desperate, last-ditch effort. I reacted instantly, leaping backward while simultaneously yelling at the top of my lungs. Help! Assault! I'm being assaulted. My ex-wife is trying to force herself on a defenseless man. Is there no justice in the world? My voice carried. In an instant, the butler, maids, and security guards rushed in from every corner of the penthouse, surrounding us. Everyone stared, dumbfounded, at the scantily clad Isabella and me. The situation was mortifyingly awkward. Isabella looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her whole. I, on the other hand, saw a teachable moment. I pointed at the humiliated Isabella and addressed the gathered staff in a somber tone. Let this be a lesson to all of you. This is what happens when you don't focus on your education, don't work hard, and try to take dishonest shortcuts in life. So young, and already reduced to climbing into a man's bed in the middle of the night. Have you no shame? The staff struggled to suppress their laughter, nodding vigorously. Isabella was practically dying of shame, her eyes burning with a fiery rage. That look seemed to say, "You finally got my attention, you bastard. Just you wait, I will conquer you." I didn't give her a chance to deliver a dramatic line. I whipped out my phone, aimed it at her in the crowd, and snapped a picture. Then, right in front of her, I sent the photo to the Cole family group chat. I added the caption, "Ex-wife showed up at my door in the middle of the night. Looks like she's begging. Should I give her some cash? It's an emergency. Need advice ASAP." The group chat exploded. My uncle. "Grayson, how can you talk about Isabella that way? Let the poor girl in. Give her something to eat." My aunt. "Is that woman still hanging around? Give her $20 and tell her to get lost." My grandfather. "Nice photo. Next time, try for a more dramatic angle." Isabella saw the chat history on my screen, and it was the final straw. With a piercing shriek, she covered her face and fled in tears. The annual charity auction gala was the ultimate stage for the city's elite. I had no intention of going, but when I heard both Chloe and Isabella would be there, I knew I couldn't miss it. After all, watching them make fools of themselves was one of my few remaining pleasures. At the gala, Chloe showed up on the arm of a balding tycoon with a comb-over. He had to be in his 50s and was so greasy you could fry an egg on his forehead. Seeing me alone, she shot me a triumphant smirk and sauntered over. Well, if it isn't Mr. Cole. All by your lonesome? Didn't Isabella come with you?" "Oh, that's right, I forgot. You two are divorced." "How tragic. The great Grayson Cole. Now, just a lonely bachelor." I ignored her and went to my table. The auction began shortly after. The first item was a jade bracelet with a starting bid of $50,000. Chloe immediately turned to her sugar daddy. "Oh, Mr. Henderson, I simply adore that bracelet." To show off, the tycoon immediately raised his paddle. $60,000. I casually raised my own paddle. $500,000. The room fell silent. Everyone turned to look at me, including Chloe and Mr. Henderson. Henderson's face turned beet red. He clearly thought I was challenging him. To save face, he ground his teeth and raised his paddle. $550,000. I smiled serenely and raised my paddle again. $1 million. Sweat started beading on Henderson's forehead. He shot me a venomous glare. "Chloe, egg him on. Mr. Henderson, he's just doing this to spite you. You can't let him win." With a grimace, Henderson slammed his paddle down. $1.5 million. He stared at me, daring me to continue. I smiled, slowly lowered my paddle, and made a gracious after-you gesture in his direction. "Congratulations to this sucker. My apologies, to Mr. Henderson for winning this lovely $50,000 bracelet." Henderson's expression was fouler than if he'd just eaten a plate of dirt. Next up was the main event, a spectacular diamond necklace. Isabella had her eye on it. She was probably hoping to win it to restore some of her lost dignity. She raised her paddle. $2 million. I used the same tactic, immediately shouting, $5 million. When Isabella saw me bidding, her eyes lit up. She thought I was bidding on it for her, that this was my way of making a grand, romantic gesture. She immediately stopped bidding, her eyes fixed on me with hopeful expectation. After a few rounds, I had driven the price up to a staggering $10 million. Just when everyone assumed I was about to win the necklace, I suddenly lowered my paddle and asked the auctioneer a question. "Excuse me, is that thing edible? It's not spicy, is it?" Auctioneer. The blissful look on Isabella's face instantly shattered. In the end, under the bewildered stares of the entire room. The only item I purchased was an antique Victorian bedpan, for which I paid a few $100s. I cradled the bedpan in my arms, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Excellent. This will make a wonderful flower pot. Very rustic. Chloe's tycoon boyfriend almost had a stroke after paying a fortune for the bracelet. Isabella became the laughingstock of the evening, and I, clutching my bedpan, walked away with my reputation for chaos intact. 9. The company had a new app to promote. The marketing department suggested I appear on Billionaire Bachelor, a hot new reality dating show. I wasn't interested until I heard that Isabella and Chloe had pulled strings to get on the show, specifically to confront me. How could I pass up that kind of entertainment? On the first day, the task was for the male contestants to cook dinner for the woman of their choice. The other rich bachelors prepared fancy French steaks and Japanese sashimi, all very high-end. When it was my turn, I tied on an apron and marched into the kitchen. Half an hour later, I emerged with a giant pot. Texas-style chili. Beef, beans, peppers, onions all stewed together. I slid a huge bowl of it in front of Isabella and said with a grin, "Here you go. Try my masterpiece." Isabella looked at the greasy concoction with undisguised revulsion. I shoved a spoon into her hand. "Go on, eat up. It's a dinner I made with love just for you." With the cameras rolling, she couldn't refuse. Fighting back tears, she forced down the entire bowl of chili, even managing a week. Delicious. The second activity was an outdoor hike. Chloe tried her old tricks again. Halfway up the trail, she let out a little ouch and collapsed to the ground, clutching her ankle. My ankle. I think I twisted it. It hurts so much. She looked up at me with teary eyes. "Grayson, darling, can you carry me back?" I crouched down, my face a mask of concern. "A twisted ankle? That's serious." I immediately pulled out my phone. "Don't worry, I know an excellent orthopedic surgeon. Specializes in sports injuries and, as a bonus, is a real artist when it comes to amputations. I'll call 911 and have him take you there right now." Chloe was so scared she leaped to her feet. No need. I think. I'm all better now." That evening's event was a game of truth or dare. The host asked me, "Grayson, who is the person you've loved most in your life?" Everyone, including Isabella and Chloe, looked at me expectantly, assuming I named one of them. I reached into my suit jacket and slowly pulled out my wallet. From it, I produced my Black American Express Centurion card. I held the card up and planted a deep, sincere kiss on it. Her, of course. She's so cold, so hard, yet she gives me the world. She never asks me why, and she never asks me where I'm going. Most importantly, she's so pure. Not like some people, whose hearts are full of schemes. The show's live comments feed went insane. "OMG, this CEO is so real. He's my spirit animal. LMAO, I'm dead. I've never seen someone kiss their credit card before. I'm a fan now. This guy's hilarious. He's rich, and he's not afraid to be weird about it." For the final, heartfelt confession segment, the producers had Isabella deliver a tearful monologue to me. She stood before me, passionately recounting our history, her voice choked with emotion, tears streaming down her face. The atmosphere was incredibly moving. However, I had fallen asleep. Not only had I fallen asleep, but I was also letting out soft, gentle snores. When Isabella finished her speech, the host had to nudge me awake. I wiped a bit of drool from the corner of my mouth and asked groggily, "Huh? Is it over? Great. Can I get my appearance fee now? I have to get home to feed my dog." After the episode aired, I gained 10 million followers overnight and became the internet's favorite chaos CEO. Isabella and Chloe, on the other hand, became a national joke. 10 Vance Enterprises finally went bankrupt. The credit lines dried up, the debts piled up, and the court put a lock on the doors. Isabella and Julian were evicted from their mansion, falling from the heights of luxury to the gutter overnight. Desperate, they resorted to their last option, trial by social media. Soon, a series of tear-jerking posts began to appear online. Billionaire CEO abandons wife of many years. The heartbreaking truth. From socialite to the streets, what did I do to deserve this? In these posts, Isabella was painted as a tragic heroine who gave everything for love, only to be cast aside by a cruel, heartless monster. And I, of course, was that monster, the worst man in America. The internet was flooded with outrage, all fanned by an army of paid bots and trolls. Hashtag cancel Grayson Cole. Hashtag boycott coal industries. My PR department was having a collective meltdown, but I just sat back, casually scrolling through the hate comments while enjoying a bag of popcorn. The time was right. I had Maya schedule a press conference. The conference room was packed with reporters, the flashes of their cameras like a lightning storm. Isabella and Julian were there, too, dressed in ragged clothes with smudged makeup to look haggard. They sat in the front row, ready to play the victim. I walked onto the stage and wasted no time. The giant screen behind me lit up, displaying the first slide of a PowerPoint presentation. Slide 1. An analysis of fraudulent asset transfers within Vance Enterprises. Slide 2. Julian Vance. A collection of unpaid casino markers and compromising videos. Slide 3. A photo album of Ms. Chloe Reed's intimate encounters with various gentlemen. And so on. I picked up the microphone and began my lecture like a seasoned professor. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, if you'll direct your attention to the screen, you'll see the bank statements of my ex-wife's family. I pointed to a long string of numbers. Last month alone, her mother spent $200,000 on luxury lingerie. I have to ask, was it made of diamonds? Does it give you the ability to fly? The room filled with laughter. The color drained from Isabella and Julian's faces. And here we have the spending habits of my former brother-in-law. As you can see, he spent over $300,000 in 1 month on donations to live streamers. A true patron of the arts. Isabella couldn't take it anymore. She screamed and tried to rush the stage to grab the microphone. I dodged her easily with a nimble sidestep. Whoop, can't catch me. Frustrating, isn't it? The laughter in the room grew louder. Finally, I cleared my throat and delivered the finishing blow. It was an audio recording. On the recording, Isabella's voice was crystal clear, chatting with a friend. Isabella, do you really not love Grayson? He's done so much for you. Love? Are you kidding? He's just a dog I keep on a leash. If I tell him to go east, he wouldn't dare go west. As soon as the Vance family is stable, the first thing I'm doing is kicking him to the curb. When the recording finished, the room was dead silent. Every single camera turned to face Isabella. In that single moment, public opinion reversed completely. She was ruined. 11 Isabella completely snapped. She seemed to mistake her life for a romance novel and began acting out the classic scene where the hero begs for the heroine's forgiveness. She knelt on the pavement in front of the coal industry's skyscraper. It was pouring rain. She was soaked to the bone, her hair plastered to her face, crying and screaming at the top of her lungs. Grayson Cole, I was wrong. Come out and see me. I really do love you. Please, just give me one more chance. I stood at the floor-to-ceiling window of my penthouse office, sipping a hot chocolate and enjoying the free show. This TSK, what a lovely downpour. I remarked to Maya. Really brings out the water on her brain. Maya stifled a laugh. I picked up the intercom and buzzed the security desk. Hey, is there a woman downstairs putting on some performance art? Go set up a tent by the entrance. Put out a few boxes of popcorn, peanuts, and bottled water. And some hot cocoa. Sell it to the public. $5 a cup for the cocoa, buy one get one half off. Tell everyone Mr. Cole is inviting them to watch the monkey show. The head of security was silent for a long moment before stammering, Yes, Mr. Cole. Before long, a crowd had gathered in front of the building. People were sipping cocoa, eating popcorn, and pointing at the kneeling figure of Isabella in the rain. Isabella probably thought that the bigger the crowd, the more likely I'd cave to save face. How naive. I had the tech department fly a drone equipped with a loudspeaker to hover directly above her head. My voice, loud and clear, boomed from the speaker. Attention, the kneeling lady downstairs. Please be advised. Do not damage my pavement. It's imported Italian marble, $18,000 a tile. If you scratch it, you'll have to pay for it. The crowd roared with laughter. Isabella's body swayed. Just then, Julian came running up, sobbing, and dropped to his knees beside her. Grayson, I was wrong. We know we were wrong. Please take us back. You can support me. I'm a very good eater. My voice echoed from the drone again. Oh, a good eater? Excellent. We're looking for a new doorman. I think you'd be a great fit, but you'll have to compete with Buddy for the position. He's already on the payroll. Buddy was my Husky. Hearing this, Isabella finally gave out. Her eyes rolled back in her head, and she fainted, collapsing onto the wet ground. This time, she really fainted. The crowd gasped. I immediately issued a new command through the loudspeaker. Quick, call an ambulance, and call the police. This is a classic insurance scam. Everyone, record this on your phones as evidence. Don't let her get away. In the rain, Isabella's body, whether from the cold or from pure rage, began to twitch violently. 12 end of the story was predictable. After suffering a series of breakdowns, Isabella's mental health deteriorated. Distant relatives sent her to a wellness retreat in a remote, mountainous area to recuperate. I heard the scenery was lovely, lots of fresh air, no internet. Julian Vance actually did try to compete with my dog, Buddy, for the doorman position. Unfortunately, he was eliminated in the first round of interviews after Buddy bit him 3 times. In a final act of mercy, I got him a job at one of my electronics factories, assembling components. As for Chloe Reed, she was found guilty of extortion. The sum was significant, so she received a lovely pair of silver bracelets and will be spending the next few years working a sewing machine. The world was finally quiet. I was on my private jet, about to embark on a trip around the world. Maya sat across from me, asking respectfully, "Mr. Cole, where's our first stop?" I put on my sunglasses, kicked my feet up, and thought for a moment. I hear the mines in Africa are nice. Let's go buy a couple for fun. Just then, a cold, mechanical voice suddenly echoed in my mind. Warning, host has severely deviated from the original plot, causing a catastrophic collapse of the world's timeline. System will now commence with humane euthanization of the host. It was that useless system that had been silent ever since I arrived. I cleaned out my ear and cut it off impatiently. Shut up. You keep running your mouth, and I swear, I'll pay someone to hack this pathetic system of yours. Then I'll buy out your parent company and have you scrapped. The system's notifications went silent. I leaned back contentedly against the plush leather seat and gave a peace sign to the blue sky outside my window. The jet soared across the sky, leaving a brilliant trail behind it. Remember, never be a simp. If you're going to be a dog, be a happy, free, and ridiculously rich one. This crazy, wonderful, obscenely wealthy life was just getting started.